Hello, friends, and welcome to Rise Up in Real Estate, where we are on a quest. We are looking for the extra in the ordinary. And I'm Tad Fulford, and I will be your host on this journey where we will take an honest look at what makes ordinary people extraordinary. Exactly how can we be extra in our personal and our professional lives? In this season of the Rise Up in Real Estate adventure, there will be a monthly rhythm, meaning each month we will have 4 unique episodes. In one episode, we'll tackle a pressing current real estate industry thought. In another, we will chat with a local difference maker in the real estate space. For our 3rd episode, we will host a respected national thought leader. And finally, we will have a 4th bonus and surprise episode. And in each episode, we will be digging into not only what those people think, but who those people are. Along the way, it's my hope that you'll laugh some, you'll be challenged some, you will get inspired some, and if we are lucky, maybe even figure out a way or two you can rise up in your own life and be the best human that you can be. So the challenge is, let's all rise up. Welcome back, Rise Up Nation. We're excited to have you here for another episode of Rise Up in Real Estate. And I have got one of my favorite people, genuinely. I don't know this guy so well, but I'm getting ready to get to know him a little bit. But just a bright light in this world of darkness. I want you to meet my new friend, and your new friend, Nimesh Patel, and coming to us from Texas. You got some good sports teams down there, Nimesh. We have no pro sports here in coastal South Carolina. Welcome to the show today. I'm glad to have you.
Oh, Tad, I've been wanting to get on this show. This is awesome. I'm honored. I'm completely humbled by this. And look, I've known you for a long time. You know me for a long time, but I think this is amazing that we're going to actually really get to know each other more, So
Yeah. And I'm doing this on video and on audio. So I hope that those of you that can see this on YouTube will take a chance, because this is one of my favorite things about you is you are unique. Like the first time I met you, I was like, this dude is not cut from just the normal everyday cloth. And I'm out there all the time. I've got socks some days that I wear that have unicorns on them. I'm out there looking for unicorns, and you are definitely a unicorn, my man. So I'm glad that you live you. That's just what you do.
I appreciate you saying that. I really do, because when you're growing up, all of us, we're all growing up. We kind of try to fit the norm somewhere, somehow, right? We find our niche somewhere. Honestly, I don't think I found my true niche until about 10 plus years ago, or about 10 years ago, and realized I'm not meant to fit this mold, that mold, which I don't think anybody really should. But I really, truly wanted to just, I'm me, be me, don't step on people, help people, be positive. And as long as I can do that, it doesn't matter what I dress like, look like, act like, as long as I'm doing something positive,
Yeah, and you do that from my perspective. I've only known you during that 10 years. So if we can, let's rewind the clock just a little bit. Where were you born, Nimesh?
I was born in London, England. My family's from my family. So we're Indian. Okay. Nimesh Patel. We're Indian, but I don't know anything about India because none of my family's in India. All my family's from Africa or from England. I go to Africa a lot. I've been to Africa more than I've been to India. So like Kenya and Uganda is where a lot of my family is. And then most of my other family is in England. And then of course, my parents moved down to America right around 1980 or so. And been here ever since. So, but I still have my British passport. I still go back and forth a lot. I went last year to go watch a game, a soccer game or a football game. Yeah, I'm from England.
And how old were you when you came here? And tell me what unfolded after that. Are you from a big family? You got brothers and sisters, and y'all all moved over here?
No, it was just a small family. To be completely fair with you, hopefully my mom's not watching this. She basically gave an ultimatum to my dad and said, hey, either you move me and my brother and all of us down to America, or we get a divorce because your mother is too much, So that's
nice.
How it started. Mom got her way. We moved to America, and haven't looked back ever since. Small family, but what's really neat is we'd go back all the time, right? Summer vacations when we were younger. Most of my friends would either go to India or somewhere else. My summer vacations were always back into England, and so it's been fun. But now we got lots more cousins that have moved here, so it's good. I mean, America's my home. I joke around a lot of times. I got my British passport, but America's my home. So.
Yeah. Did you move straight to Texas?
Funny thing, we were when Bill Clinton was governor. We were in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So
Okay.
yeah, we moved
Okay.
out there for a minute. I can't even remember why they had to move there. I think it had to do with somebody that they knew, because when moving to another country, not knowing anyone, it's tough. So we moved to Fort Smith, Arkansas, when Bill Clinton was the governor. From there, we went to California for a minute. I don't remember that even. And then they moved to Texas because, in the early 80s, the Texas boom was going on. The oil boom was going on, and before it crashed. But yeah, I've been in Texas ever since. So I consider myself a Texas boy for sure.
Right. And where are you exactly in Texas? Tell me about the company that you work for too, real quick. Name the names so people can look you up.
Yeah, Remax Fine Properties in Sugarland, Texas, and now also a location in Austin, Texas. So Sugarland is a suburb of Houston. We cover all of Houston, of course. It's huge, but we cover it, and it's a great, great place to live. But then this year I went and opened up another brokerage in Austin, which is about 3 hours away. I went to school there 30 years ago, but I went to school there. Love that city. It's an amazing place. And so now I have two brokerages. I've always had one, but now I'm ready to take on two.
Now, that is a whole big story that I want to get into, but I have to tell you about my Austin, Texas. I love Austin, Texas, but my favorite thing is these crazy donuts we had there.
Oh,
you know
yeah?
what I'm talking about? I don't remember the name of the store, but we went in and this donut was a creation, man. It was crazy.
I'm losing my mind right now on that too, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, heck, they even have they have meat on the donuts. They have donuts. I love that. I love that place.
I'll find the name of that and I'll put it in the show notes because it was a life-changing experience. If you're ever in, I know there's a lot of great things about Austin, but that was, and I tend to relate everything to food, which is why I'm this size. But anyway, so was real estate your only gig, or did you do other things before real estate for work?
Believe it or not, after out of college, I was in IT. And so what was kind of neat was, I went to school in Austin, had a great time, met a lot of people, but then IT was really kicking off in the late 90s, right?
Yeah.
Got into network administration and had an opportunity to move out to the Bay Area where the .com era was going on, right? The whole San Jose, San Francisco, Oakland, Saratoga, all these cities that you see on TV or on a TV show. I'm suddenly living in these areas. I moved out there, had a blast, working for big companies, Pacific Coast and Electric, IBM, AT&T. My favorite job was at Charles Schwab because that's where their headquarters were. So I really loved it. But then I'll be honest with you, and maybe you'll understand this. I just miss the Southern hospitality of Texas. I really did, And,
Okay.
Met a lot of people, had a great experience, in my 20s, making some good money in that field. But I just missed Texas quite a bit. And I decided to move back. I moved back in 2002, I believe it was. Yeah, 2002. And you know how I got into real estate? I literally sat around. I had an amazing severance package because I was like the first guy that raised my hand from Charles Schwab and said, "Hey, lay me off," because I know the first package is always going to be the best one.
Right.
And I had a year to do nothing. My mom said, "Look, you need to get up and do something. I'll go with you. Let's both go to real estate school."
No way.
And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "You know what?" And of course, here's the mentality. Mentality was, let's go to real estate school because one day I'm going to be rich. And what do rich people do? They put their money into real estate. Right? Wealthy people become more wealthy through real estate. So I got my license for that reason, to one day maybe put money into real estate. And lo and behold, I started showing some houses because people my age were buying houses. Loved it, became good at it, and been doing it ever since. Haven't looked back, and I don't regret any minute of it.
And what year did you get licensed?
2002. At the end of 2002, I got licensed. It's kind of funny. People think that, when they see my mom, they're like, "Oh, you got into it because of your mom." No, my mom and I went to school together for real estate, in 2002. She's since retired. I kind of forced her into it. But 2002. So that's 21 years now. 21 years going on.
You look way younger than me, but I got my license in 2001. So we're similar in that regard. Where did you go to college?
UT, Longhorns, baby.
Listen, we got to give the Longhorns some props because they did some damage to. I'm from Alabama. I was born in Dothan, Alabama, so I grew up an Alabama fan. But man, they made Nick Saban look like he needed to regroup.
They do. I'll tell you, all of America has to be on our side right now. All of America 100%. Has to be on our side after that. And then I had a good weekend because you're going to hate this part too. I'm a big Cowboys fan, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh no, it's okay. I mean, I've got a lot of. It seems like I grew up in North Carolina, where all we could see was the Washington Redskins back then. And so Dallas was like the worst thing to me, but it was only because I was a Redskins fan. So now that I'm in my 50s, I'm just a player fan. If you live in South Carolina, there's no pro teams here except the Panthers in Charlotte, but I just like players. So I'm a big fan of that dude you guys got on defense, number 11. I can't think of his name right now, but man.
Oh, he is Micah Parsons. He's great.
He wreaked havoc last night on the Jets.
He did.
Which I think they've got a good team. The Jets do. That's probably two best defenses. But I think you also like the Astros. Is that right? Are you an Astros fan?
Big Astros fan. Obviously, since 2017, we've been on a really big high, and we'll see what happens this year. We'll get to the playoffs again and see if we have enough to win another one.
Man, you live in if I lived there, I'd probably never work. I'd be going to games all the time.
Well, that's what I do, right? I go to a lot of games, but I also travel to go to games. When the Astros went to the World Series, it was awesome. I actually went out to LA to when they watched them when they played the Dodgers. So it was just a fun experience. I like to get out and meet people. I like to go out and see different things, different cultures. You're talking about coming to Austin and the food. I like going to these different cities and checking out their food scene as well, and their live music scene and anything and everything. So I use sports for the most part. This past weekend, I went out to California to play golf, but I use sports as an excuse to get out and meet more people and see different cultures.
That's cool. So you've listened to my friend here, Nimesh, for about 10 minutes, and you're probably saying to yourself, does the guy work? Because he's set such a balanced existence. I mean, if I use that word, although I've seen you late at night and it doesn't feel that balanced when we're out at 2 a.m. But let's say that, tell me about your real estate business. You started out selling, right? Just individually. And where are you today? I mean, you told me earlier that you're in this beautiful 15,000 square foot building that you just got into. Tell me where you are now. What's the size of your team? What are you doing day to day?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't want to bore everybody, but look, I started off, trying to do this for myself. And next thing you know, I did well at it. And I think the reason I did well was because I actually cared about people. As silly as that sounds, and there's nothing profound about that, except that I cared about people. So I did very well, got a good name for myself for a while. And then my brother and I decided to do a business together. And his name is Nimesh, by the way. And, we're looking out for businesses. We're looking at burger flipping joints. We're looking at car washes. We're looking at bars. We just didn't want to work for any, we want to be entrepreneurs. That's our spirit. And so one day my mom just said, hey, guys, y'all are just both dumb. Nimesh, you've been doing real estate already for all these years. And Nimesh, you got some good sense on you with finance and operations. Why don't you guys just do a brokerage together? I'm like, oh my God, didn't even think about that. Thanks, Mom. So again, as you can tell so far, my mom has saved me in my life quite a bit. And so we talked to a Remax broker owner here. And of course, the worst time ever, 2009 or 2008, we started talking to him and he wanted to get out because it was horrible. We were like, hey, great opportunity. Let's get in. And we got in and we haven't looked back ever since. Now, he's since moved on. About 2 years ago, we split up. Everything's great. It's just that he wanted to do something else with his life, but I still have this passion for it. We had about 45 agents, or we had 55 agents. 10 of them dropped the second I bought the place. And we had 45 agents, but then we grew it all the way to now we have about 150 agents approximately. And just trying to do whatever I can to service these guys, right? And then opening up in Austin, that's been great for all of the central Texas area. We have people I have people 5 hours away that are licensed with me, And then this new facility, I mean, I wish I could show it to you, Tad. You'll be a little jealous. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. I have a game room in my facility. Can I tell you what's in my game room? In our office, we have a basketball pop-a-shot. We have 2 dartboards. We have 2 sets of cornhole bags. We have a ping pong table, a pool table, a shuffleboard table, air hockey, foosball, giant Jenga, giant Connect 4, all of that. That's in the game room for our agents.
Listen, so now the next question is, how can I'm sure my agents that are listening want to know how they can transfer their license to your place. They want to know how they can take.
I'll tell you, Texas license is not that hard to get. Get over here. We actually have a couple of people that are in Georgia, one in Oklahoma, and down here. Of course, you got to know what you're doing down here. But I'll tell you, the best thing that I've ever done. I've done a couple of good things in my past for my agents, but this honestly has to be the best thing ever. I hate saying this, pre-COVID, post-COVID, all of that kind of stuff. I think we're all tired of all that. But I'll tell you, post-COVID, this is the best thing we've ever done because we're bringing people back. People are coming in instead of just picking up their checks and leaving or picking up their mail and leaving. They're coming in to play a game with each other, and they're talking. They're talking real estate. They're talking about the economy. They're talking about families. They're talking about whatever's going on versus just coming in and going straight home. That's what I love about what's going on right now.
Yeah, that's cool. And you hear so many people, and we're experiencing the same thing where we are. When you have a culture, people want to be a part of it. And we hear a lot of our peers say that no one's coming to the office, and do they even need an office? But we're a lot like you are. Are you one mega team, or do you got individual agents and you run a team? Are you still listing and selling yourself?
I do. I don't do as much, but I do have a mega team. I have we did about $160 million in volume last year. My team consists of 14 of us. But they run it. I don't run it. I'll have weekly meetings here and there, and I'll do a lot of social media, TikToks and videos for them. That's about it. I don't really do too much else. But the brokerage, I want to focus on just being the broker. And so my days consist of either training, teaching, coaching, mentoring, one-on-ones with everybody. In fact, prior to getting on this, I've had 3 mentoring Zoom calls as well already done, so that's what I like.
That's cool.
And I want to, and I'll be honest with you, I do want to grow. I'm not trying to say I want to be the biggest ever, but I do want to get to a growth where people know that they have an environment to succeed in. They have camaraderie. They have a culture. And I know a culture gets used quite a bit, or overused quite a bit, but I think people can feel it. They can see it. They walk into an office, they talk to agents out in the field. You can feel a true culture. And that's what I strive for. I think, I'm not a good recruiter, but I'm good at attracting. And there's a difference,
Yeah. And the people that have been watching or listening to this can already hear that and see that you don't meet a stranger. I know that. And you are, if I had to just, like, my son played basketball at a high level, and several coaches said he was the glue of the team. And I kind of, when we go to conferences and stuff, that's kind of how I view you. Like, wherever you are is where the people are, and everybody's having a good time and they're feeling good about themselves. And that's a gift. Not everybody can do that. So I appreciate that about you for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that. That makes me want to keep doing it though, So.
Oh yeah. And I can see, there's nothing wrong with wanting to grow. I think in our position, as broker owners, you have to be careful that you don't get big enough that you forget the one-on-ones, like what you just talked about, right? There's a balance, but as you grow, it gives you leverage, what I call leverage, to do things you couldn't normally do. Like when you had 8 agents, you couldn't, or 45 agents, you couldn't have a 15,000 square foot building with a pool table. No way. So, you pick what you want, but I appreciate that about you. And I think it's great when someone says, I'm ready to grow. And you know what? And we opened in 2007. So we're similar. And it was like doing it on the moon. There was nobody doing anything. And we were just like, oh, you don't want it? We'll take that. We did 7 mergers and acquisitions to get started. And now it's happening again, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The market's done a little bit of whatever it's done, and now there's a lot of constriction happening, but there's opportunity for guys like you that want to grow.
Yeah, no, and I'm glad to hear that you did that. 2007 you did that, right? And and I'll probably take that roadmap and try to replicate some of that here in the next year or so, right? Because I still think that's going to happen. I think that a lot of that's going to happen. I thought I saw this, and don't get me, I'm going to get the numbers wrong, but you'll get the gist of it. In 2021, I want to say something like 6.2 million houses were sold. In 2022, I want to say it was around 5.4 million houses sold. And projections so far from July projections were somewhere close to 4.3 million sold. So, that's $2 million less homes sold in a 2-year period. People are going to get affected by that, brokerages and agents and teams. And so it's not that I want to cherry pick any of them. I'm not trying to pick off somebody's, demise. What I'm trying to do is say, hey, let's come over here together and let's do it together, because that's the only way I know how to do it. And, you're talking about your son playing basketball and being the glue. I grew up playing ball. I grew up playing sports. And I'll tell you, anything and everything I do is teamwork. I've never done anything individually. Everything I do is teamwork. And so I think if we can talk to more people in our industry to say, hey, let's kind of do this together, I think we can salvage quite a bit of it.
Yeah, because what I think about a team is, if it goes great. If it goes poorly, at least you got people to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not by yourself, right? You get to do this with, and why do you like teams? What is it about teams that kind of meet Nimesh's fancy? What is it that you like?
Yeah, no, that's a great question too. Look, I have been promoting teams for, I don't know, 10 plus years here, right? I think I have close to about 40 teams in my brokerage, right? Teams can be 2 people, 3 people. My largest team is me, actually. Other than that, like, they're averaging about 3 to 4 people. Okay. And I'll tell you, the collaboration is there, but not just that. It's also, we don't talk about this enough, but it's that mindset. We always had this mindset of go, 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 but we need somebody to also tell us that, hey, sit back. Hey, let's go watch a movie. Let's go take your daughter out to the park, take your dog for a walk, go on a vacation. And when you see other people doing that, and then you also see that, hey, look, why don't you go do that? I'm going to have your back here on this transaction. I'm going to have your back over the next few weeks. It just puts you at ease, right? There's too many people. I know, Tad, you're hearing this, even from your own agents, from my own agents. There's too many agents that are out on an island right now and not knowing what to do. And it can't always just be about real estate. It has to be your own personal life. You already touched on it, where the balance and all of that is. But I think with a team, you get to see that. And I hate saying this one, but misery loves company. Well, there's times when you're down and you see somebody else is down. Okay, you're not in it by yourself. Let's climb up together from here. Let's rise together.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's like the camaraderie of it is attractive. I love all of that because we only get one shot at this life, right? So if all you're doing is working, and if you're on an island, reach out to someone who's not, and you can. I love teamwork. That's every time we've done an acquisition or a merger, it's been a roll-in. We're calling it. There's got to be a win-win-win. It's got to win for them, win for us, and win for every agent involved. And I'm sure yours have been the same way. Tell me. If you live or own property along the coast of South Carolina, you probably need insurance. We Insure Advocates is a locally owned independent agency with industry-leading service support. Our team of customer-centric agents can explain your coverage options and help you craft an insurance program that fits your needs and budget. Data-driven for better value, people-led for better service. That's the difference of we. For all of your property insurance needs, please find us at weinsureadvocates.com or call us at 843-491-6990. Tell me a little bit about, I have to ask you this, and the listeners have to do, you've got to find this guy on social media. You have to. I'm going to put his name down in the show notes. It'll have spelling, and I'll even ask him to share some of his channels with us. But you are one of the most unique people on social media that I've ever known. So tell me, was that from your background of being in the tech world in the beginning, or has it just been a personal thing? Talk to me about how social media helps your business.
I know it's interesting. I'm about to be 50, and you look at my friends group and they're all educated, smart guys, smart girls, everything's just good people, yet they hate social media. And I'm the one guy in our group that loves it like there's no tomorrow. And what it does for me is it's an easier path to be able to connect with as many people as possible. When I walk into a party, you already said it. I walk into a conference, you've seen me. I'm sort of center of attention, and not center of attention because I'm so great. No, I'm center of attention because I asked for it. I want it. I want people to be around because I want to learn from people, meet people, see people, hear from people. And so social media is the easiest way to do that. I can't call 35 people in a week just to, hey, how's life? How's it going? But I can get on social media and see everybody's, hey, what happened to somebody's daughter, somebody's dog, somebody's bought a new house, new car. I can see all that within 5 minutes, 35 people like that. So that's one of the main reasons I love social media. But now, what you're alluding to with my social media uniqueness is the only way I know how, which is to make fun of myself. And so if you see a lot of my videos, it's literally just let me try to be funny. I'll have some informative things. I do. I need to do that for my agents and for the public and all that. But I'll tell you, more people take well to when I fall down and break something versus me telling what's about to happen over the next 6 months in real estate. So I'm like, hey, look, as long as you're attracted to me and I have a good good rapport with you just because you're liking my videos, then I love it. Absolutely love it. And then we'll connect in some other way somehow, you know?
And what's your favorite channel, if you have one, and what do you use the most? What do you think's most effective?
I think the most effective thing I have still is Facebook. And that's because I'm not trying to get new people as much. Yeah, I meet people, I get on there. But with Facebook, I think I feel most connected because people like you are on there. My friends and family and people that I've known for a long time. I do want to connect with you guys all the time. So that's what I like to see. You and I don't talk all the time, but we just saw each other, in a conference, right? But then I like to see what you and Mandy are doing over the next few weeks and months, and your kids, and then also, your work and all that. So I like Facebook the most for right now, but the most effective one probably is Instagram for me. Nimesh 23 Patel and the Nimesh Patel Group. I think we do a lot of fun stuff on those. That's more for fun for me, like a lot of, just TikToks and things like that. So
yeah, that's cool. So that's worth the price of admission. You didn't pay anything to listen to this episode today, but you just got a connection. You will love yourself if you hook up with him on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I hope you'll do that. That's the reason we do this show. So I appreciate you.
And right back at you guys. I'll come right back and follow you and support you. I don't know if you know Joe Fitzpatrick out of the Northeast side. Yeah, great guy, big team. Does very well. I literally like gushed like a little. I was like blushing like a little girl. The other day he sends me a little message and says, "Hey, listen, I'm running out of ideas here. Can I just copy a couple of your, reels and TikToks?" I go, absolutely. I would love it. So he started doing some of those, and that's what we do. We all just kind of get some inspiration from each other. So
yeah, that's the finest form of flattery is imitation.
Yeah.
And I do that with Todd. Todd Stock and I are pretty close. And every Mondays when I shoot my videos this morning, and first thing I do is look at success in real estate on Todd's channel and see what he did last week. And I can try to make it my way. So that's pretty cool. So listen, I got some questions for you as we wrap up here, and I could go for 2 hours with you. I really could. We'll have to get back together and talk deeper about teams maybe in the future. If you had a crystal ball, Nimesh, and I'm not going to hold you to this, but where does the market go from here, in your opinion? Is it the same in Texas as it is in South Carolina? Like inventory low, rates have made people hesitate. Sellers are sitting on the fence, not wanting to list their property because they got nowhere to go. And where do you think it's going to go from here? Just your opinion, not going to hold you to it.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, I have no problem giving my opinion, right? Because that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be experts, and I think we should have a better opinion than the average guy. But what I don't like is when people just follow national media news. Real estate, is very specific to your location. Okay. Very specific. I will say that Texas, we're pretty fortunate that more people are moving to Texas than moving out of Texas. So, we have a steady stream of people coming, but that has led to a shortage of inventory. And yeah, you can talk about Houston having all the space in the world, and we have more new construction than anywhere in the nation. I think that just came out about a month ago. We have more new construction starts than anywhere in the nation. Yet we're still having a low inventory issue as well. But you're right. Sellers don't want to move out of their houses because there's nowhere else to go. You're comfortable with these rates. And I'm not talking about just the past like 3 or 4 years. Heck, if you even got a house a couple, 7 or 8 years ago, what you bought back then for the rate and what you can afford, it's so hard to do right now. So hard to do. And I feel bad. I really feel bad for people. And for all of us to say, Houstonians, how can you can't afford Houston because the Californians and the Chicagoans and all of them are coming down. But yeah, there's definitely a slowdown. I think there's been a sticker shock with the rates. I think everybody knows that. But people are starting to understand that if I wait any longer, a drop in 1% in the interest rate is not going to matter when my house price keeps going up 10, 15% every 3 months from these new construction guys, right? What I really see happening from all the experts that I've read and heard from and talked to and mastermind with, I really see another frenzy coming up end of the year, but definitely beginning of next year. And when I say frenzy, we're going to have multiple offers galore. We're going to have people overpaying for price for houses because that's all that's available. And because they think suddenly that the rate went from 7.5 down to 6, that they can suddenly do that. It's not the case. I mean, people need to do the math. I think right now I had this client that's in the best situation possible. They have a house to sell. They want to buy a new house. and the new house won't be ready for 8 months. Great. Lock in your price right now while we're constructing this new house. The interest rate's going to go lower by the time your new house is going to be done. So you're going to be in a better place then because we're affording what we can right now. And then when we sell your house, the house is going to be up higher. So that's the perfect position I would want to be in if I'm somebody. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so that's good. So you think frenzy maybe last quarter, maybe first quarter next year, maybe second quarter next year. And we're similar markets. Like we have, interesting to hear you say California, Chicago coming to you. We're a second home market. People come, more people coming here than leaving here. We get Florida, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all of that. So very similar in that way. I appreciate that. Tell me, this is probably people's least favorite question that I ask them, but it's my favorite. What is your superpower, my friend? Like, what do you do better? What were you put here on the earth to do, my man?
Without sounding arrogant at this at all, hopefully nobody takes it this way.
No.
I think my superpower is relationships. I think I was put on this earth to connect people, to connect with people, to have people connect with me. I mean, then putting more and more people together. I think that's my biggest superpower. That's my flex. And that's why social media helps me a lot to do that. I love going, coming back from Chicago at a broker owner conference, knowing most of the people there and introducing other people to each other, and then getting back home and then introducing them again and connecting them. I love that. I absolutely love it, especially when I'm trying to do something better for the betterment of our whole industry, or definitely, for Remax, let's just say, for example, saying that, hey, look, I've got a friend, John Armstrong or Todd Stock over here. They're really good at this. Why don't I connect you with them? And then I feel good about that, So relationships is my superpower by far.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head. And it's not a surprise that you would be uber committed to teams, uber committed to social media, and you would be the selfie king at all of our conferences. I always get like a post after the conference on social media that's got hundreds of pictures that this guy takes. And it's not sunsets. That's the interesting thing. It's not the sights that you saw. It's the people that you were with. Always.
That's it. Nobody wants to see a picture of me standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, but they'll see a picture of me, you, and Mandy together somewhere. They'll identify with that. Were you in Nashville last year by any chance?
Yeah.
Do you remember the opening session when Nick came out and he actually gave me that title?
Oh, yeah.
So I take it seriously now, and, I'll be honest with you. I get a little jelly when I see other people doing the same thing now. I'm like, hey, hold on. That's my job,
Yeah, they're just trying to be you. They got a long way to go. Hey, I have to ask, because some of these people are watching this on video. Is that a Taylor Swift shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Are you a Swiftie? Did you go?
I'm a Swiftie.
And you went?
I went. I sat down right near her. I was like about 14th row, up there in the front by the stage. I'll be. I can't believe I'm admitting this. I wanted to go so badly, but I didn't know who to go with. And then I realized, hey, it's my niece's sweet 16 birthday. And I'm like, perfect. I know she's a Swiftie. I'm like, let me take her. I mean, her parents were just over the moon, first of all, but then they were like, wait, how much did you just spend on those tickets? I go, I wanted to go. Trust me, I wanted to go, So I went there. I have everybody around becoming a Swiftie, all my agents, all my team, everyone. And so a lot of my stories on my Instagram or a lot of my videos will have all Taylor Swift songs. So
that's pretty cool. Have you ever seen in your lifetime a better picture of marketing genius than what that woman has done in the last 12 to 24 months?
No, that's a great point, Tad. I mean, what she's done, and she's done it the right way too, right? You hear about too many people trying to be mean about it or greedy about it. She has not done that at all. That marketing, her putting her name out there. Tad, I went in the 80s. I went to, at that time, or prior to going to this Taylor Swift concert, and I've been to lots of concerts. My number one favorite concert of all time was I went to the Victory Tour with Michael Jackson. Okay. And the Jackson 5. Okay. That was in the Astrodome in Houston. I mean, you're talking about the whole Jackson 5 and Michael together again. The Victory Tour was amazing. I finally said Taylor Swift has taken over that. So,
oh my goodness, that's a big deal.
Because she's committed, right? She's putting out a product, and I know, kind of bringing it into work a little bit, but she's putting out this product. And have you been?
No, I haven't. I have not. But you know what? They're selling out movie theaters now. like around. She hasn't come anywhere real close to here. A lot of our agents have gone to Atlanta or whatever, but there's movie theaters that are closed now for 2 or 3 days, and people are buying all the tickets. But I hope to do that just at least to experience the concert that way.
Definitely do that, because I'll tell you what I love is her commitment to her people, right? She sings 44 songs and 3 hours every single night. When she came to Houston, it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then the next week, it's another Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 hours every time. She doesn't let down. She changes her outfits like 15 times. She has a story. She has a special song for each city. Everything's different in that sense. But her commitment to her fans is why people love her like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of parallels to if you want to be great.
Absolutely.
You can be like that. So I got it while you wear that shirt. That makes a lot of sense. I thought I caught a glimpse of that. Tell us a book that you like. What's a book I could put in the show notes that somebody might enjoy, business or otherwise? It doesn't matter.
Business or otherwise. I'll tell you one we're doing right now. We're doing it for we do a book club every month in our office. And right now we're on Jordan Cohen's book. Jordan, #1 Remax agent in the world, and we're doing that one for now. I think we're gonna probably go to Rich Dad Poor Dad probably in about 2 months. I've always liked that one because it's a simple read, but it's so many good life lessons in that one as well.
2 good ones. I haven't had Jordan's book recommended, but that needs to be in the notes for sure, because that's a great. He's got a great story, and some of our agents heard him at R4 talked. He did not on the main stage, but he did a special session there, and I think people have kind of. He's a workhorse. He's a machine.
He's a workhorse, but I think what people identify with is not saying that, oh God, I don't want to listen to somebody that sells $18 million, $27 million houses. What am I going to identify with, right? But I think if you get into his book and you start reading him and you realize he's just one of us. He really is one of us. He's a hard worker. He's shy. He's a good friend of mine. And so every time we get up near stage, and it's funny, 3 times now we've aligned where I'm speaking and he's speaking at the same time, or, on the same area. And so he'll get behind stage with me. And he's like, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm like, Jordan, you're fine. Just get up there and do your thing, right? And I helped push him. Even I was at Luxury recently, and he just got up there and said, well, Nimesh told me to say this, and Nimesh told me to say that. And then he goes, blame him if it goes wrong. But what I like is that the message you'll get in his book is like simple. It's simple, but you have to do it. Just get out and do it, right? So
yeah, I love that. Could we learn something from that? You want it to be super profound, but that is super profound, actually, in its simplicity. Last question I'll ask you, bro, until we get off to the next time. The title of this podcast, Rise Up in Real Estate, I had some people say, are you trying to like form a movement? And I'm like, well, maybe, but you can't say that on social media because you get in trouble. But I just wanted to figure out a place we could come and all talk about how you can rise above mediocrity. I think there's a lot of that in the world, that's my opinion. And I know you're not mediocre. So is there something in your daily schedule and your regular habits that helps you rise up above what everybody else is doing?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I'm not going to say that this is what I think about every day, but here's what I do consistently. One of the few things I do consistently. Every morning after I get up and take the dogs out and, just get a little bit warmed up for the day, because I'm old now, it takes some time to warm up. I put my phone away and I put my dogs away, or I go into, I have this study area that looks out over the lake and the pool and everything. And I literally just go and sit there and stare. I just stare out, and I don't have the phone, so I don't have to worry about a phone call or anything like that. My dogs the door's shut, so my dog can't get in there. And I take time for myself. And I want to, if I could be profound, I would want to say, well, it's meditation or meditation and all of that. It's not, but maybe it's some form of it, I guess. I literally go there and I just stare out and I think about my day. I visualize my day. I visualize what might have happened yesterday and start thinking about who I want to connect with today. I don't want to talk about tasks, right? I don't want to, okay, I've got this meeting, that meeting, that meeting. That's a different time of the day. But this is literally like, who do I want to connect with today? Where do I want to be later today? That's pretty much what I do every single morning. I think that's the one thing that probably maybe sets me apart on my daily routine. So.
Yeah, I like that. And I love that you're just very real. We started the whole show by saying this, like you're just who you are. And you could have spiritualized that, or you could have made that seem like super high power or or supernatural or, whatever. But I love that you just said, nope, it's just me getting still and just listening for a minute to myself without the interruptions of the day. And I wonder how many people really do that.
Yeah.
Not enough.
I don't think we do. And I don't think I do it enough, because I want to be on the go. You're like that too. You're always constantly on the go. You're not going to sit down and, just stare at the wall for 5 hours, or you're not that kind of guy. Neither am I. But man, just taking 10, 15, 20 minutes to do that throughout the day, it clears your mind. It really does clear your mind. I would love to somehow make it spiritual a little bit, maybe one day. But like you said, I want to be real about it. And I think what's working for me, and that's what I do. So
yeah, I love that. So what if somebody wants to connect with you? What's the best place? Like, tell us one place we can find you, because listen, I'm going to say this again. I've said it a few times. The real value for the listeners in this episode or any of these episodes is to connect to the person that brought the message. If you resonated with something, and hopefully you got the team gist, you got the social media gist, you got the relationship, this would be a good guy for you to connect to and enhance your network. How can we do that, Nimesh? And you'll do the same thing, like right back at us. But where can we find you?
Right back at you. Well, quick, I'll give you my cell phone number. It's 832-567-9400. That's my personal cell. I know these days some people don't look at all that, but text me and I'll get back to you. And if not, my email is Nimesh, Nimesh at remaxfine.com. Simple, easy. And if the best way, I guess, just to really get to see what I do or who I am, get on my Instagram, Nimesh23 Patel, or the Nimesh Patel Group, or RMX Fine Properties. I mean, I have lots of things out there. You do a search. One thing is, if you do Google search, be careful. There's a comedian named Nimesh Patel that's killing it right now, doing really well out there. So you do a Google search on him, his name comes up everywhere. So now I get texts from people in New York, Chicago, everywhere. And there's a show, and it's like, hey, Nimesh, you're doing a show tonight. I get a picture from that. So just, I'm not him, but you'll find me.
Yeah, well, you are your own brand of comedian, and I think that's funny that you have like top Google power until somebody like that comes along.
I know.
That's funny. Well, listen, you have been so much fun, like I knew you would be. I appreciate you sharing your story and being open. I think these connections are what makes life worth living. Is we go through all of it together, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But for you to open up the playbook a little bit and share who you are and what you're doing, we couldn't say thank you enough. So thanks for being on Rise Up in Real Estate.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. I love what you're doing. You got to give some kudos to yourself too, right? You're also doing the same thing. You're connecting people. You're giving a platform for other people to hear where you might not have known someone. So I absolutely love what you're doing. I saw your lineup this year, and I'm like, okay, I got to watch all these. So this is going to be a good lineup for you. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Take care, my friend. I'll be in touch.
All right. Take care.
Well, hey, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Rise Up in Real Estate. If you liked hanging out with us today, please find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Rise Up in Real Estate. Also, follow us right now on your favorite podcast host to hear more episodes. We really appreciate you spending some of your time with us. And until next time, let's do each other a favor and all help each other rise up.